So I wanted to talk about SE a little bit because I feel like only after living with kind of knowing that I have the function after living with it for a while, I feel like I finally kind of am starting to understand it. So I feel like I've heard it described as a nothing function, like SE is doing nothing, it's just taking things in, whatever's in front of you. But I actually feel like it's very, I know that's kind of a joke description, but I actually feel like it's very active. Um, and I feel like it can be very powerful. So, like, one example I was thinking about was if you had like a war general or some sort of war coordinator person, and he needed to pick out who was going to be like the best fighters. This person, because they're a lead SE user, they've maybe honed the skill over time, many, many times of like looking at guys like fight and be like, okay, well, his leg is slightly higher than his leg, so he's a better kicker or something. It's that obligation to taking in details and information like that that is going to make that person good at quickly sizing someone up and saying, you're going to be a good, fighter. You're going to be good in this realm. So I feel like this function is actually really powerful for, that example, military, whatever, but also like CEOs, presidents, lead SE, I feel like is actually a great function to have because you are making those decisions in the outside world. But at the same time, I also feel like SE is a cataloging function. So it uses part of that introverted sensing to kind of catalog everything that you've seen. Like, one example would be like if you had an apple and you were trying to decide, like, maybe compare this apple to other apples. You might think about all the other apples you've eaten in your life and what did they feel like? What did they smell like? What did they taste like? And kind of all that information you have a back catalog of to where you can compare it to whatever's in front of you right now. So I think that could be very helpful in just any situation where you need to make a decision about the outside world, which is going to happen a lot. Um, but yeah, so I feel like there's definitely it can be very powerful and active. And like I've actually had trouble turning SE off. I feel like there's been times in my life where all I'm doing is comparing two things to each other, and it can get very toxic. So one thing that I'm working on for self growth is being like stepping away from SE comparisons. I mean, I know that I have had an issue with that for a long time, but like being able to really recognize when that function is active and being able to step back and say, okay, well, I know XYZ might be the best thing, but what about this thing that's right here in front of me? What is the history? What are the memories associated with this? What are the pros of this sticking with the same thing, same sensory thing, or not looking for something new, something better? Kind of living into the SI. And so while I do think that SE is like very powerful, um, and I think that it's a great function to have, any function in excess is going to be unhealthy. I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, I think SE is great, especially as a visual. Helps to have SE. Fun times. Fun times over here. But yeah, so those are some things I've been thinking about.